Puberty, take two. That's right. That's how I see the process of going through hair loss as a male. Like when you first start noticing that you're in the process. And I know it's a tricky thing, especially when you're in that Norwood 2 situation. Or like, if I could hang tight with Norwood 2, I'd be all right. But what if it gets worse? What if it gets to Norwood 3 and thinning like Nick Shell has? What then? Then I'm really hanging on to the end of my rope, because after that, that's the end, you know, as far as hair. So I never have done this before, but I want to liken going through those signs of noticing and accepting hair loss. I want to liken that to going through puberty. For some of you, it wasn't all that long ago, but for me, it was a long time ago. If I'm 36 and a half, which I am, you know, puberty arguably around 11 and a half, something like that. 6th grade-ish, I mean, for me. And there's understandably a lot of compassion for girls that go through puberty. I don't even need to say anything. But no one has empathy for boys as they go through puberty. It's all a joke, isn't it? Oh, your voice cracks, you know, and it's just making fun of the awkwardness that boys go through when they go through puberty. No one talks about, and I'm just going to be brief here, and you're going to fill in the blanks here. Can I just say the biological responsibility that is bestowed on you once the breaker switch is turned on to where you're suddenly producing stuff. And that's a burden that no one talks about as far as anyone having compassion for that. And that's when it starts. When you're a boy, you're suddenly producing, and for the rest of your life, you've got this burden. Oh yeah. So I could do a whole video channel on that, I'm sure. But don't you feel good about me just saying out loud what I did in a little bit of coded language there? But because I don't even need to be graphic. You know what I'm talking about. So like, there's a lot that happens when you're a boy going through puberty, and no one has compassion for you. Your voice is cracked. You know, you got hair growing on your arms and legs. It's all a joke, right? But I think there's definitely some undeniable similarities between a boy going through puberty at arguably 11 and a half, or whatever age it was for you, and whatever age it is that you start losing your hair, whether it's your late teens, early 20s, early 30s, whenever it is. There's similarities there, because there's really no compassion for you as you're starting to lose your hair. If you say anything out loud, people are just going to say, oh yeah, you know, that's just part of being a man. You just start losing your hair, and you know, and it happens to the best of us. You know, that's the most compassion you'll ever get from anyone, which is why this channel is popular, because I have lots of compassion for any man who's going through the process of losing his hair and psychologically going through that. So I'm actually, even just saying these things right now, making this video this morning, I feel like, how have I not really talked about this before? But truly, a man who's starting to lose his hair, it's second puberty. It's puberty part 2. No one has compassion for you. Your body's changing. It's freaking you out. I guess my question is, no, there's no question. Puberty number 1 is a lot worse than puberty number 2. Is that the title of the video? Well, I'll close the video by leaving it up to you. Which puberty do you think is worse? Puberty number 1, when you're still a boy, and then suddenly your body is producing something that it didn't before, and this stuff is trying to come out of you, and you have morality issues with it, like, what am I supposed to do? Like, that's pretty traumatic for an 11-and-a-half-year-old boy to experience. And it's not like it stops there. He continues to wonder, what am I supposed to do? And then who do you ask? And well, now you got YouTube, but when I was 11 and a half, there was no such thing as YouTube. But still, even then, it's a heavy responsibility to be bestowed on a boy. That was much more traumatic for me than realizing I was starting to lose my hair. I don't know. I think hair loss affects guys differently. And of course, you know, I'm lucky to have as much hair as I do at age 36 and a half. And it'd be a different story if you're 20 and have the hair that I have now. So I guess that has a lot to do with it, what age you start going bald. But still, it's pretty freaky to go through puberty part 1. No one talks about it. No one has compassion for you. And I don't think half of the population understands what all is involved. Because it's one thing for a girl to go through menstruation and have to deal with that. But boys have their own version of menstruation, and it's not once a month. It's like every second of every day, and you live your life in a way that you hopefully are distracted from that fact. Man, if anybody has compassion on young men going through puberty, whether it's part 1 or part 2 when you start to lose your hair, I would want to think it's me. I have compassion for you. I know what it's like. And some of you have had to experience puberty part 2 a lot sooner than I have, and I never mean to downplay that. My role is always to help you through it. I'm Nick Shell, and I care about you. I have compassion for you as a male going through puberty part 1 and part 2.